Hi, welcome to www.heccookery.com, also www.cookiepuppy.com. Right, on this one it's called Cakey Wakey, so it's 10 sessions basically of all sweet things, hot sweets and things like that. Cake, cakes like it says Cakey Wakey. So on this session we're going to be making chocolate cake and chocolate sauce, and the combination of making chocolate cake means we can make chocolate muffins as well. So we're going to get straight down to it, right? I'm making a pound mix, which is a lot for a family, but remember, you could be running a cafe or whatever you want to do. You might decide to give your friends some cake or whatever. Don't eat this kind of cake all the time and think it's going to be healthy, because it's not, right? So have it like once a month. So granulated sugar, like that, not caster sugar, granulated sugar, a pound of sugar, right? Blender over here. I'm just going to turn it back to you just for 1 minute. Right, I've got a hand blender like that. That saved you about 15 pence. Now it's caster sugar, it's nice and fine, lovely and fine now, yeah? There's nothing worse than getting that gritty sort of taste in your mouth. Now here we've got 1.5 plain flour, so that's about £3. So I want about a third of that. So we're going to go about like that. So I don't really weigh anything. So there's about a third of the flour, which is great. We're going to go about a heaped teaspoon and half of baking powder, like that. So sort of like you can go 3 teaspoons if they're normal teaspoons, or 2 heaped ones, whatever you want to do, like that, yeah. So you've got flour, you've got baking powder, and you've got caster sugar. The next thing is, there I've got normal stalk, there it says a kilo, it's about £2. So I've got half a stalk there, half a tub of stalk. I've left a little bit in. I'm not getting rid of the tub because we're going to grease the tins like that, right? So that's fantastic. Now the next thing I want to do is chuck some eggs in there. So always be careful when you chuck the eggs in that you don't get a lot of shell in there. You can put it into a pot first if you want, but I'm going to start with like about 5 eggs. You might think, what's he doing here? You're going to see now. Right, this is how easy to make a cake. Right, press it down like that, and I work on the principle that everything's all about textures, so just keep pressing it down. Of course you have got the weights in the bags as well. I know it's going to be quite thick to start, but it won't be. Now, can you see? Already we're getting a sort of a cake mix texture already, look. That's it. So what we're going to do now, we know it's too thick, drop another couple of eggs in. Just use my left hand. I'm going to put 3 in because it's still quite thick. What you do is you just use your finger and your thumb just to open it like that. And tap it somewhere hard, like that. Here we go. Probably end up about 10 eggs, something like that. That's it, the mix is getting really good now. Now really work your fingers in like that. Your fingers are the machine, right? I'm not interested in blending machines and things like that. You're the machine, and I want you to work it like that. I want you to imagine it's like therapy. Squeeze it between your fingers and really get it all working and moving around. That's brilliant, that. Now I'm just going to check that I've got enough flour in there. I don't think it was quite a third, because I can just tell by how thick it is. So just, I chucked a bit over there then. Right, so that's about right now, that's about a third. So I've chucked a little bit of flour in there. You can keep coming back to things. Now really, what you're doing now is you're getting loads of air in it like this now, squeezing it. And just keep, exercise your fingers. Get it all from all the way around the bowl, so there's no dry stuff in the middle, and keep squeezing until it goes light. Eventually, you'll see the mix going lighter, much lighter. Can you see it in the middle going lighter already? Right, so get off your fingers, work it round. It's like having a workout, this, isn't it? Everybody told me you put weight on with cakes, but not with Rob's style of cooking. Always the hard way, that's what I say. Here it goes. So it's getting light now, look, see it? Perfect. Well, so he says. Right, so obviously it's going to be a chocolate cake. So we'll have a last little burst. Right. Okay. So let's get it all off my hands. It's very important that you start off with nice clean hands. I've got soapy water there. Always remember you wash your hands first. And don't go around the house touching everything like that with this, because you make a right mess. And no one's going to be happy with you. Now I feel that I've burnt a few calories. I don't know about you if you're doing it with me, but I've definitely burnt a few calories doing this. So I'm going to be ready for eating this chocolate cake. So next thing, get yourself a little spoon, little wooden spoon if you like, cocoa powder. You can use chocolate powder if you want, but it just doesn't colour it. Sort of 2 wooden spoonfuls like that, yeah? Should be plenty. Mix it in. Like I say, they're not going to show you this sort of style of cooking probably on telly, I don't think. So here we go. There it goes. Get it all the way around. Now we've got quite a nice sort of light chocolate look. Yeah. If you want it darker, just put more cocoa powder in it, it's not a problem. Don't forget to turn your bowl round. And don't forget to keep going around the sides. Now I've got the oven on about 180, you can probably hear it in the background making a bit of a buzzing noise. That's okay. Right, so there we go. Mix, done, no problem. Right? Right, next thing, muffin tray and a dish. So a little oven dish there. There's some cake and that. Now remember that bit of margarine we had left? I'm just going to put that. I'm all about using my fingers for things, so I like doing my fingers because I think it's all nice and quick, and you know, as long as you're okay using your fingers, it works. Always works for me doing this sort of thing. So I'll grease them like that. You don't want too much greasing, you just want to go all the way around the edges like that. Right, that's greased. I'm happy with that. Send me that one. I'm not going to bother with paper and all that sort of stuff. Greaseproof paper. I'll just use the pot. So, I remember the pot, you can grow seeds in it. I peel vegetables and things like that, and then pots are great for stuff like that. If you're going on a picnic, you can use the pots as well. Right, so we've got that. So we'll have some cake mix in there first. Always try and get your cake sorted out first. You can use a round cake tin if you want, whatever shape you want. Don't really bother me that. That's entirely up to yourself. I'm just showing you just like a family thing here, just so you get the picture, and you can do it yourself then, whichever way you want. So about that much in, about three-quarters filling it there, like that, yeah. And then I'm just going to put a dab sort of in each one of them, in each one of these. Like that. I'm hoping I'm going to have enough mix here. I think I will. Oh, quite a bit in that one. We're doing great. Alright, have I worn you out yet with this chocolate cake? And remember, we're going to be having chocolate sauce with it, so that'll be good as well. You'll enjoy that. Right, so that's most of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cheat a little bit and pinch a bit from there and there. That's it. Maybe a little bit more in that one. So just pat them down a bit like that. Like that. Now they're going to go in the oven now for about 20 minutes, about 180. And your first session gets off to a flying start with chocolate cake and chocolate sauce and chocolate muffins. So they're going to go in the oven there like that. And we'll put them in there. That's going to go in the oven there like that. And I want you to come back in about 20 minutes and we're going to make the chocolate sauce. We'll get the chocolate cake out, I'll cut it up, you can have a look, see what you think yourself, yeah? See you in a bit. Right, we're back. So I've just pulled the muffins out and I've took them out of the tin, and there's the chocolate cake which has risen quite nicely, and that's how you press it like that so it's not squidgy. If it's squidgy then it's not cooked, so you leave it in. Open the oven door very, very slowly. That's the tip. So what we're going to do now is chocolate sauce. So I'm not going to do too much. So about a pint of milk in there, like that. Put it on. And we bring that to the boil. Now, I just want to tell you something about cake, just while this is boiling. So I'll bring that to the boil there now. Right. If you're using cocoa, it goes dark like this, like that, yeah. And when you cut it, make sure you get a nice portion. Obviously, don't eat it every day because it's made with fat and sugar and things like that. But if you have a piece a week, you know, have it as a treat. See it as like a, you know, you're having a nice piece of cake, you know, in the week for a nice treat. So do it like that. Remember, you need to try and burn the calories off. So things like exercise and going for a long walk and then have your piece of cake. Don't spend all day sitting down and eat cake every day. The other thing is things like buttercream. Have a look at it. If you've got buttercream in the middle of it and then you've got cream on the top, you know, because all that's extra. It's all loads of extra calories, loads of extra fat. You've seen how much fat I put in the cake. Granted, you've got this amount of cake from what I showed you before. Now, if you only wanted to do half of that, you just wanted this cake here, you do a ½ pound mix. The mix that we did was a pound mix. So we did pound sugar, a pound margarine, stalk margarine, a pound plain flour, 2 sort of medium teaspoons of baking powder, and about, I think we went about 8 eggs, something like that, and then just give it, go mad at it, so it goes really, really light in colour. Add a bit of cocoa powder, like that. That's all you've got to do. It's dead easy. Any cake you want, chopped cherries, put chopped cherries in instead of cocoa powder. Cherry cake. If you want things like almonds in there, you want to flavour it, almond essence, chopped almonds, any nuts. You want some sort of like carrot cake and put spices in there, shredded carrot. Whatever you want to turn your cake into, that's up to you. Coconut, whatever you want to do. A normal sponge is without the cocoa powder. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lift a piece of cake just to show you now. Here's a white plate. And I'll get a nice cake slice, something like that, What's very, very important is that you don't make a mess of it, when you're dishing it out. And we're looking at the texture. So if you look in there now, you've got a nice spongy sort of look. That's what it's about, sponge. So like that. See how you've got like a nice look like that. Now that's a lovely piece of cake, that. It's cooked nicely, look. And it's going to be lovely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it like that. A sweet plate's better. Always better than a bowl. A sweet plate is much nicer to put the cake on. It's a bit smaller than that. This is a dinner plate. If you use a sweet plate, try and buy white plates. If you look at the chocolate cake on there, it looks lovely on a white plate. White plates you can always replace. They're cheap. You can replace them dead easy. If they break, it's not a problem. You can always get another one. As soon as you start going into patterns, it gets difficult. So you've got to be careful with that. Right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to knock a little bit of corn flour mix up in a cup. So I want a little cup here now. Just a little bit of cold water. Bit of corn flour. It's a nice easy sauce, so I like this one. About a couple of dessert spoons, maybe 1.5, something like that, of corn flour. And that is bubbling away now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to knock that off, just turn it right down. Right, I'm mixing that corn flour up like that. If you leave that for a few minutes, it sets. So make sure you've got a good bit of friction. Just keep stirring it like that, and you've got good friction. It's away, yeah. That's great. So that's away. That'll be nice and smooth. Stir a bit of that in there, and you'll see fairly quick it's trying to turn into a sauce, just like a milky sauce. This is probably like one of the easiest ways for you to do it. Let's turn it back on again. Like that. Now while that's starting to thicken, I've got a little bit of cocoa powder, so just a little bit, about dessert spoon, a little bit like that. Again, you've got a nice chocolatey look, because it's cocoa powder. So that'll go in there now like that. A bit of sugar, about 2 dessert spoons I'm going to put in there like that. I want it quite sweet. Can you see how it's changing colour now, look? Now if you're worried about these bits around the top, these cocoa solids, you're better off with a plastic whisk. So I'm just going to use quite a light one here like that, or a little one like that. I've got a little one, that's quite good for this kind of thing. Very, very light, it won't damage the non-stick. You can buy these plastic whisks, they're quite good. So just give it a real good stir around like that. Mix all the cocoa in, like that. And then while I'm doing that, it's a bit harsh with just the milk in. So what I do is add some evaporated milk. Now this isn't any sort of branded. This is just Tesco's own evaporated milk. So about a quarter of a tin of that, and that'll give it a nice creamy flavour. You don't need to add cream because cream's more fatty again, yeah? And I don't want you adding more and more fat all the time. So, look at that. So let's turn it up a little bit again. Stir it up. We're just going to bring it to the boil just till it finishes. You can strain it. If you look at it now, compared to how it was a minute ago, you've got a lovely chocolate sauce there now. Now obviously if you strain it, you're not going to get any of them little brown marks in it. But let's have it like that. Stop it from sticking around the bottom. And that'll just cook the corn flour out. That's why I'm just giving it a little bit longer. So we've got a lovely sponge cake. The muffins, you can do whatever you want with the muffins. You can cut them and put little fancy bits on the top. So that's going off now. So there it goes. That's off. What I'm going to do with that now is I'm going to trickle a little bit. Let me get a ladle, that's probably better. Here we go. That's the ladle there. I'm going to trickle a bit over the top. Like that. There we go. Now remember, if you strain it, you don't get the little brown speckles, but what about that then? Chocolate cake, chocolate sauce. Let's bob on that. Like I said, if you put it in a sauce boat, put it on the table, just strain it. But that's the consistency of the sauce that you want. So that's fantastic. So thanks for coming on to www.heccookery.com or www.cookiepuppy.com. Please keep coming back to the website and buy the videos, buy the books. Have a look at the books. There's some great books coming out. Have a look at the sign. That's what you need to look out for, the Cookie Puppy sign. So thanks very much.